And good morning. Welcome to Mornings on TV with Luann and Tim. How was your weekend?
It was really great, actually.
You look so tanned. I'm so jealous.
Got a lot of sun and water this weekend. It was a beautiful. The weather was just one day was nicer than the next.
Yeah.
No complaints. No complaints. We had a great party out. A friend of ours on St. Joe Island. Do you say St. Joe or St. Joe's?
I say St. Joe's, but I don't say St. Joe's Island. I say St. Joe's or St. Joe Island.
Because it's St. Joseph Island. It's not St. Joseph's Island, is it?
That's right, no.
So St. Joe Island. Anyway, that's where I was. We had a dinner party. It was a 40th birthday for one of our friends, and so there were a lot of folks up from out of town and stuff, and it was hosted by a great friend who has a beautiful place out there, and we had catered dinner. Filet mignon and Caesar salad, and yeah, it was fantastic.
So did you bring me a doggy bag?
No, I brought you doggies. We were allowed to bring the dogs and everything, Keith and I. Yeah, well, but he has guest accommodations, so like guest cottages.
Yeah,
it's quite the place.
Yeah.
So anyway, we brought the dogs out and we spent the night on Saturday, and then the morning. Well, I spent the morning by the lake on Sunday. Mr. Bowser spent the morning in bed because he was in the hot tub until all hours of the night. So.
Well, you know that's what you do in the summer when it's nice and you're near water.
And you're young.
And you're young.
I went to bed early, and then I was sitting out on the deck by 7 a.m. having a coffee.
Oh my goodness!
With the puppies, and then we came back into the house and just enjoyed the rest of yesterday by the pool.
Oh my God,
honestly.
It was awesome.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
What about you?
I did a family reunion in Espanola.
Oh, you went to Espanola.
It was so
You went to see your
fun.
mom. Was it her birthday?
No, it was her birthday July 3rd.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Close though.
Yeah, I hadn't seen her, and then it was Jim's birthday on Friday.
Right, we said happy birthday to him on camera.
So on Saturday we had the family reunion, and
all 6,500 cousins.
Yeah,
no,
and now the
30 odd of
kids,
you.
now my cousins' kids are having kids. So I grew up with 33 first cousins. So as I said, their kids are having kids. So now there's these bazillion kids running around. I have no idea who they belong to. I'm like, why are you here? Who are you? Where do you belong? You know, I can't even keep my own
Espanola
cousins.
Populated.
Well, apparently we are.
That's good. As long as you're all marrying people that you're not related to.
Yes, interbreeding is not a good thing.
No.
And I saw some aunts and stuff, so that was awesome. We hadn't been for about 3 years. They have one every summer, and we hadn't been for about 3 years or so, just because scheduling and stuff. And it was awesome.
This was a big one.
So much fun. Yeah.
Lots of catching up.
Yes, lots of catching up.
Whose yard were you in?
Lee's and Ian's.
I didn't need their names. I just wanted to know, like, what.
Lee Valley Road.
Are they named after Lee and Ian?
No,
Lee Valley Road
named
after? Oh, Lee's.
Lee's and Ian Armstrong. Yeah, they've such amazing hosts. They have lots of property. They used to have horses.
Did you camp there? What did you do?
No, I stayed at my mother's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jim drove home, so I could drink.
Home where?
From Lee's and Ian's back to my mother's house.
Oh, I was going to say, he didn't drive back to the Sioux after. Just like, hi, happy reunion. I'm getting the heck out of here.
He was like, I'm so done with you people. I'm out of here.
No. So what's it like when you all say, just picturing the Waltons, you know, good night, John Boy, good night, Mary Ellen, good night, Luann.
Oh, it takes you 40 minutes to say goodbye to everyone.
Hey, what the Waltons call their athletic son? Jim Bag. Good night, Jim Bag.
A friend of mine calls my husband that. Jim Bag. Isn't that funny? That's hilarious. You said that.
See?
Yeah. I was on Twitter this morning. Such a cute little video. Jan Arden even liked it.
Of who?
The website is called Nature is Amazing. So if you want to go and tweet
Do you follow Jan Arden?
Yes.
I do too.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, love her.
She's friends with my friend Sharon Matthews.
Really?
Yeah, Sharon Matthews is, remember Canada Sings, that TV show that we based Sue Sings for Kids on?
Yeah.
Sharon was one of the vocal coaches for that. Anyway, she's quite amazing. So Jan Arden's on what?
So she actually liked this video that the Nature is Amazing site posted. And it's firemen in Europe somewhere. And they're rescuing little baby ducks. And the mother is sitting there. The ducks are in a sewer somehow.
Okay.
So the fire officials are trying to get the sewer cover off, and one guy is like head first, like in there, and they're scooping up these little baby ducklings,
rescuing them from the sewer,
and got them all.
Hey, what's going on with the boys from Thailand, the soccer team? They're rescuing them.
5.
Speaking of rescuing people from little places.
5. They've got 5 out now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're going to continue. They had to take a break last night because they had to replenish oxygen and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's over 2 hours from from when they leave inside the caves to get out.
It takes a long time, but they've got them all tethered, and you know, they're attached to 2 divers. They're between 2 divers, and you have to remember, of course, we're talking flooding and oxygen levels being a big concern. Plus, it's pitch black down there.
Pitch black.
So the kids, you can imagine, it's been 2 weeks for them. They must be like, how do you not panic? Now, none of them swim, and now they all have face masks on, thank goodness. But like,
I
imagine.
think those professional divers must be just amazing keeping those kids calm.
Yeah, and they, of course, have been there for about a week.
They've got a routine now.
And they've talked to them and said, okay, this is what it's going to feel like, and isn't that phenomenal?
Goodness, still so sad about the one SEAL diver.
Yes, and Jan Arden again said, let's remember him today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that was awesome.
Oh, that's great news. The ducks have been saved, and
the boys are
the boys are being saved.
Yeah.
And we're safe.
We're safe. We're safe and sound. What's coming up on the show with you this morning?
I have Kaitlyn is here from the public library, and she's going to talk about.
She doesn't look like the librarians that I used to go to the library.
No, she's
very
young, very energetic.
Yeah.
But she's worked at the. Well, you'll hear her story. She's been at the library since she was a teenager, volunteering as a student.
Which was yesterday, from the looks of things.
And now it's her career. She's another one of those great success stories about people who went away, got their education, and came back to Sault Ste. Marie and found employment. We love those stories.
Yeah, we do.
Kaitlyn is here to talk about the Teen Reading Challenge, which is really exciting, and that sort of leads into other teen stuff that's going on at the libraries, which is, you know, it's a great hub. It's a social hub. Those libraries are such fun places to be. They're not like they used to be in the olden days, Luann.
No, not like in the olden days. Yeah,
not like that anymore. Now we have.
You can get videos there and everything.
You can, and they have parties. They have themed parties at libraries now. That Helena Huapalainen, she knows how to have a good time. Helena, just saying her name and cools the palate. Helena Huapalainen. Then later in the show, we have a story about a young boy. His name is Kayge, Kayge, Kayge Fowler. Kayge is 5 years old and has a very rare form of cancer, DIPG. It's a cancer that forms in the tissue of the brain stem. And Kayge's grandfather, Geri, I had a sit down with Geri last week to talk about how Kayge is doing and about some fundraising that we can do to help the family so that they can spend some great time with Kayge and maybe get some alternative treatments. And we got that coming up as well. It's a pretty tender story, and that's coming up near the end of our show. So it's a full day again on Morning with Luann and Tim.
And you have a busy week coming up. I know you're doing some taping tomorrow morning, a special segment. You stay tuned. ... That's all I'm saying. He's.
I heard that Studio 10 is closed, so I may be looking for opening up a new venture that involves me and Poles. So stay tuned.
We don't mean Polish people
coming up
either.
This week.
We're not talking
Well, that
Polish.
would be interesting too, dancing with Poles.
Stop it now.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take this break on Mornings with Luann and Tim, and then...
I'm Tim.
He's the Tim part of that. We'll be right back. Have a great morning.
I should have done that because you started. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're not paying attention.
I need my coffee because I forgot. It is Monday morning, and we are live with Kaitlyn Watson from the, what's it called? The Sault Ste. Marie. Now, it's called the James L. McIntyre Centennial Library. And I think I might have mentioned to Helena when she was here before that Jim McIntyre was really good friends with our family, and he did so much for this community, mayor and the bridge and the police commission, and great guy, great family. And I told you earlier that also his wife, her name was Mary McIntyre. And Mary's sister was Kay Punch, the legendary Kay Punch from the library. You'd heard her name after all these years.
Yes, I have.
Now, you've been at the library, Kaitlyn, since you were a teenager?
Yes, I worked as a student page at the Churchill Branch Library.
A student page?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, that's kind of funny. Page, and it's a library, and it's a book. So, what's a student page?
Filing books. Helping with programs.
You were the one who walked around with the cart and putting
me.
Books away and stuff, and helping deliver the programs?
Yeah, helping out with the staff.
Was that a summer job, or was that a volunteer position?
No, I was paid. I went after school and on weekends. And I worked there in the summer as well.
Really?
Yeah, it was a great job.
Cool gig.
Yeah.
And summers from all through high school or what?
Yep, I worked there for 3.5 years, and then I went away to Wilfrid Laurier University. I got my degree, and then I moved home, and then I started part-time at the Reference and Information Desk.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, is that where you are right now, part-time?
Yes, yeah. I'm full-time now.
Now you're full-time?
Yeah, I am.
So how many years since you came back to the zoo have you been at the library?
About 8 years.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
You know, Luann was referencing that you look quite young, considering you've been at the library for 8 years and you went to university before that. Yeah. And you have a 5-year-old son.
I'm going to be 30 at the end of the month.
Good for you! See, age is nothing but a number.
That's right.
30, wow, I have socks that old. Anyway, the library is a fun place to work.
Yes.
Okay, tell me why. Tell me the kind of fun stuff you do at the library that makes your job enjoyable.
Well, I like to read, first of all. So
There you
I'm
go.
surrounded by books, and I'm in a place where I just absolutely love to be, even when I'm not working. But we offer a lot of fantastic programming at the library.
Stuff that people probably wouldn't even know about?
No, exactly. There's something for everyone. We always we run fantastic festivals, and there's children's programming, program for teens, adults. There's really something for everyone.
And the other thing is people sometimes don't realize that you have computers there now because, hello, it's 2018. Anybody with a library card, which, by the way, if you are if you have a Sault Ste. Marie residence within the city of Sault Ste. Marie, you get a library card for free, no charge, and then you can use everything at the library, including their computers.
Yes, that's correct.
So, which comes in handy for some people who maybe some senior people who don't own a computer who want to learn. You also teach courses. On computers too for people. A couple of different things. You can teach people how to work their computers, and you also, I think, do some repair, like basic intro to repair stuff or something.
Yeah, we have we do our Gadget Corner, so it's a drop-in program where we offer them a couple times a month, and we often have them at our specialty programs where you can come in with your smartphone or your tablet, iPad, your laptop, and you can talk to some of our tech staff, and we can kind of walk you through any issues that you're having and try and teach you the right way to do things. We also offer computer courses, tech courses on Thursday afternoons. Some of the courses are Intro to Facebook, Intro to iPad, Intro to any Android device that you have, Intro to Ancestry.ca, which is actually a genealogy website.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like that one. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You're going to go back to work, and people are going to be very impressed with you because I'm asking you questions that are outside of your realm, I'm sure, but you just seem to know everything anyway. Well, you spent half your life at the library.
Well, I work at the Reference and Information Desk, so
you have
I gotta
to know
have
all
the
this
info.
Stuff. I told you the story about me when I was little. When I was a little kid, when everybody else was outside playing sports and stuff, I was inside my room, not a word of a lie, typing up labels in the Dewey Decimal System to tape onto the spines of my books and then organize them on my bookshelves to the Dewey Decimal System. I'm surprised I didn't go into library.
Me too.
So, teens now at the library.
Yes.
What you talk about the teens? It's called Teen Reading Challenge. Is that right?
Yes. This summer we have the Teen Reading Challenge that's happening. We're doing it a little bit differently this summer. So we're actually putting out weekly challenges for the teens. Today is actually the kickoff.
This is the launch.
Yes, this is the launch.
Okay.
So each Monday we're going to announce a new challenge. So actually today the challenge is read a book that's been made into a movie. So
come on.
Yeah.
That's a great challenge.
They're very open-ended.
There's so many as well. And what's cool about that is, I bet there'll be somebody who will have seen the movie and then read the book and go, the book was so much better.
It happens often.
It does, because I always find that the books they're using our imaginations. It's limitless as opposed to somebody else's vision.
Exactly,
So read a book that's been turned into a movie.
Yes.
If you had to do that, do you know which book you would choose?
No.
Okay. Interesting.
No, actually, you know what? Yes, I would. Well, The Handmaid's Tale. I haven't read it yet. I am a big Margaret Atwood fan. I can't believe I haven't read it yet, but it's been made into the miniseries.
Of course.
So that would be
that would count?
Yeah.
Okay. So the challenge is choose a book that's been made into a movie, and then what?
So once you complete the challenge, so you have until Saturday to complete the challenge. So the challenges run from Monday, as soon as it's announced, to Saturday. Yeah. So once you complete the challenge, you can enter into a weekly drawing for your chance to win a cool prize. So to enter,
you know what?
Okay.
When we come back from commercial,
we'll talk about that.
then we're going to talk about how you good. You're good. We're going to talk about how you enter and the different prizes that are available and the different kinds of challenges and other teen stuff that's going on at the library. All right, so stay with us. Thanks, Kaitlyn. Stay with us. We'll be back on Mornings with Luann and Tim right after this. And Kaitlyn and I are still here talking about the library and talking about teens. Okay, so I read my book, or I complete my challenge, because there's a different challenge every week. How many weeks?
There's 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Yes.
So every week there's a new challenge.
Yes.
And they're not all about reading, but we'll talk about that in a second. So I finished my challenge for that week, and once I'm done my challenge, I can enter the draw in a number of ways.
Yes.
Tell me.
So you can come into the library, and you can fill your name. You can fill out a ballot, put your name, your contact information, and the challenge you completed. You put it in the ballot box. That's easy.
Done.
That's
okay,
one
easy.
way.
In person?
Yep.
Because maybe I've got the book, I might have checked. Do you have to check the book out of the library to read it, or can it be a book you got anywhere? Like Kindle or whatever?
Anywhere. It can be any format. We encourage teens to read at their own level, read whatever format you want. It can be a dusty old book that's been on your shelf. You've been meaning to read it for a year.
Got it.
You can borrow stuff from us. You can download a book. Whatever.
All right,
Yeah.
so we can go in person.
Yes.
Option 2.
You can email us.
Oh.
So our email is
It's probably pretty easy to
it's
find.
live.info1. It's kind of a long email, but you can find it on our website. You can find it on our Facebook, Instagram page. You can find it anywhere.
You know, if you Google Sault Ste. Marie Public Library, it's going to take you to click on their page, and
Yes.
you'll find the email address.
So you can email us, yeah, or you can actually go onto any of the social media outlets that we have.
Facebook.
Yes.
What's your Facebook page called?
I think it's Sault Ste. Marie Public Library.
Okay.
Yes.
That's, again, just go to Facebook and do Public Library Sault Ste. Marie, and you'll find their page.
Yes.
What else?
You can tweet us.
Twitter?
Yep.
Okay.
And you can go on Instagram as well.
Instagram as well.
Yes. So follow us and then tag us or tweet at us in your post. And we have an administrator who will...
You have a social media administrator who will see those tweets?
Yep. And then he will enter you into the draw.
Boom, into the draw.
Yep.
All right, so email, social media, or in person.
Yep.
After you completed the challenge.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to talk about some of the other challenges, or
Yes.
are you allowed to give them away yet, or is it
I
supposed
can
to be
give some hints.
Is it supposed to be a secret every week? Is it a new challenge that's unveiled?
Yes. On
Okay,
Monday.
I don't want to spoil anything, but you know what I'll do though? If you send me messages at the beginning of the week, I'll do a thing on the show where I'll say, this week's teen reading challenge is to do this.
That'd be fantastic.
Okay, let's do that, okay.
Sounds
I won't
good.
remember, so you're in charge.
Okay. That's no problem.
But give me a hint about something else that might be down the line for a challenge.
Okay, so
you said you could give me a hint.
Some of the challenges are very open-ended. They're very broad.
Okay.
Actually, 2 of the challenges are not really reading related at all. We're
activity related?
Yes.
At the library?
Participating in one of our teen programs and our workshops in the digital media space. So
Okay.
that will be one of the challenges.
Maybe we could talk a little bit about that teen
Sure.
programming you offer, like specifically that.
Yeah.
Digital media
So
space.
it's the Digital Media Lab.
Goodness, everything. Digital Media Lab.
Yes, it's the Digital Media Lab, and it's actually one of 6 in Northern Ontario. And it was a startup. It was a startup last year. And so what it is, it's a media arts lab. It's fantastic. They have a mentor, Katie Huxon. So she works in the teen workshop, or she works in the teen space every day. So teens have the opportunity to get hands-on experience with doing photography, filmmaking, animation, coding, gaming, graphic design. It's fantastic.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
right now?
it's a wonderful opportunity. It's free for teens, anyone between 13 and 19. And she offers workshops throughout the week, and she's offering some fantastic workshops this summer. Some of them are creative writing, like a writer's craft program. She's doing a drama theater. She's fantastic. Yes, we've even had Christian LeMay come in and do and teach different workshops for the teens.
Is he still at Shaw?
Yes.
Christian, yeah. He's a great guy, great cameraman.
Yeah.
Tons of experience. He's come in and done workshops with them.
Yes, it's fantastic. So, yeah.
And free.
Yes.
Teenagers, there you go. Something to do this summer. And you know,
nice.
not only that, that would be great for, you know, the thing about teenagers these days is you're 17 years old when you finish grade 12 and people expect you to know what you want to do for a living and where you want to go for a career and where you want to go for your education. And that's a lot of pressure on a 17-year-old who doesn't really know.
Absolutely.
This is a great opportunity to go and try your hands at some stuff and see what you like, discover some passions, find out what you're good at, follow through on some things. Because that's like advanced training for the kind of courses you would take.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do we find out more about the teen programming and Katie Huxon? Do we contact her or just go?
You can go right onto our website, and the digital creator has its own page there. There's her email. There's a little blurb about what it is. You can even just come in and see it. It's right in the teen space. It's a really great area.
There's an actual designated teen space.
It's a great little area.
I didn't know that either. That's amazing.
Yep, and so the workshops take place in there. And it's right in the YA stacks. They have a really cool tech table.
YA, young adult?
Yes.
I got that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any other programming you want to talk about at this point in time? Or that's a lot for the teens right there.
Yes, and they offer programming at Core Branch Library on Thursday afternoons.
That's the new one, right?
Yes.
In
the West End Community Center,
right,
or the
okay.
Northern Community Center.
I think it's called the Northern
yes.
Community Center, right?
So they do have teen programming there throughout the year, even throughout the summer on Thursdays.
So you don't have to come all the way downtown.
No, yeah, if you live in the West End, you
go to the Core.
Yeah. It's great. They do movie nights, they do gaming nights. Katie often pops in with her little portable workshop, and it's great.
Okay, so there we go. If you need to know more, then just get a hold of the library, either branch.
Yes.
Or go and visit, or check it out online on the website, or go to the Facebook page. There's so many different ways to do it.
Yep.
And teens, get reading and have fun this summer with Kaitlyn. And Kaitlyn Watson from the Public Library, thank you so much for being here. Give my regards to Helena and Matthew and the whole gang down there. Great team of people. And we'll be back with more. I believe we have news coming up next with Luann on Mornings with Luann and Tim. We'll be right back after this brief message.
Provincial police say residents of about 20 homes near Temagami are being evacuated due to a nearby forest fire. The OPP says members of its Temiskaming detachment assisted the province's Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry in implementing the mandatory evacuation order. It affects residents living between Finlayson Point Provincial Park Road and Jessie Lake. Police say there's a dangerously close active forest fire in the area, and those affected have been asked to travel north on Highway 11 away from the flames. Other residents in the area have been placed on alert, meaning they could be asked to leave if conditions worsen. Residents of Temagami, that's about 90 kilometers northwest of North Bay, by the way, are on a voluntary evacuation notice. Toronto police are investigating yet another fatal shooting. Police and paramedics were dispatched after shots were reported around midnight in the north end of the city. A man who was found with multiple gunshot wounds to his upper body was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators said they were looking for a silver vehicle seen leaving the area. It was the second fatal shooting in North Toronto in about 24 hours. The city's been reeling from a surge in gun violence this summer. Former reality show star Roxy Earle says it can be demoralizing when fashion is not inclusive for women of all sizes. Earle is hoping to help change that with a brand new collection she designed for Le Chateau.
So much of fashion leaves people out, makes people feel miserable. You look at fashion ads and they're not inclusive and they make a girl feel bad about herself. And I want to change that.
Mainstream fashion is failing plus-size women in many ways, mainly the fact that a lot of lines, they only go from 0 to a size 12 or a size 14. Essentially, the plus-size customer is completely neglected and not included at all, within that realm. And it can be very frustrating because you want access to a lot of these.
There was a collision between a pickup truck and a scooter around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon in the Sault East End near the Esso gas station at Wellington and Trunk Road. Staff Sergeant Kevin Duke said the scooter driver was taken to Sault Area Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Dukes also said that the cause of the accident is still under investigation. The fire department was called in to help clean up an extensive debris field. The Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police says it's unlikely to reach its goal of having 2,000 officers trained to spot drug-impaired drivers when marijuana becomes legal later on this year. Last fall, the agency representing about 90% of police agencies in Canada warned the government that before pot becomes legal, its members need more time to train officers in the new laws, as well as to recognize drug-impaired drivers in a roadside stop. Spokesperson for the Chiefs of Police, Natalie Wright, told the Canadian Press that only 733 officers had completed the specialized training as of May. That's up from 665 in February, though. In March 2017, about 600 officers had the training. At current rates of training, it will take more than 5 years before Canada hits 2,000 trained officers. Canadian officers have to travel to the United States for that training. At a House of Commons committee hearing last fall, police chiefs said it would be better if Canada could have training at home because the U.S. courses are in high demand, with priority, of course, given to American police forces. A Thai Navy official says a fifth boy has been rescued from that cave in northern Thailand, where a youth soccer team and their coach became trapped by floodwaters more than 2 weeks ago now. Rescuers took a break last night to replenish oxygen supplies and make other preparations deep inside the cave complex. The first 4 boys were rescued yesterday, and officials said they were judged healthy as they recovered in hospital. Rescue workers were seen carrying a person on a stretcher away from the caves to a waiting ambulance this morning. Police in Sudbury are investigating a fatal boating accident. Officers say officials responded to a marine vessel collision on Lake Wanapitei early yesterday morning. They say paramedics provided life-saving measures to the male involved in that collision, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The name of the deceased was not immediately released. Police say their investigation is still in its preliminary stages and no further details about that collision were released. Beverly Smith has only hazy memories of the van attack that killed 10 people and left her broken and bleeding on a North Toronto sidewalk some 4 months ago. But the 81-year-old Toronto woman grapples with the legacy of the April attack every day as she adapts to life in a wheelchair and works to regain the independence she enjoyed before the devastating incident. Beverly says she sometimes feels like she's wearing tight shoes, though she lost both legs after being struck in April's deadly Toronto van attack. Smith's children say it's been hard
kind of
seeing
think I'm out here and
lose some of her
everything that's happening is out there. It hasn't really hit me. Only certain things, like little things. So I see somebody dancing or jumping, I think I can't do that anymore. Just specific things.
It's looking a little overcast out there,
It
Luann.
is.
I didn't get a chance to check the weather yet. I don't know if it's gonna rain on us today. If
It's
it
not
does,
supposed to.
I gotta water my grass. It's getting dry.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's drying right out, isn't it?
You know, and
How's that sod doing? Because you had a patch of sod that you...
I had sod put in last year. Not just sod. I actually had them do French drain and proper drainage and stuff. They completely put new sod because I had a real problem with grubs.
Oh.
So they took a lot of old soil out. They gave me new soil. They gave me... My issue now is with pet damage, and it's just I didn't realize until I got the new grass. I was in denial about how much the dog. We have 3 dogs, and the urine really does.
Oh, does it?
Just everywhere, little brown. And I try to chase them around with the hose and water it down right after. I mean, that's probably the best you can do.
What about diapers?
Well, I wear
For
mine.
you and Keith, I mean.
Yes. How do you feel? Depends. We wear ours around the yard, but the dogs don't seem to be as fond of them.
No, that's
so
fine.
it's just. I mean, that's one of the things you have when you're supposed to. If I wanted to really take care of my grass, I'd walk my dogs, but I'm too lazy. I let them run around the yard, and so and I've tried those little herby pills that you give your dogs. It's supposed to reduce the amount of acid in the urine.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything like that.
But we have 2 dogs that take medication for other things, so you got to wonder, you know, do you want to mess around with other, even if it says totally harmless, do you want to mess around with stuff that affects your kidneys? And nah. So I just, you know, a little burn mark here and there. That's the price you pay for having dogs.
Well, and you know what? They're cute enough.
Unless anybody out there has some advice that actually works, other than just adding water, let me know.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know. On the plastic straw front, there's this huge campaign kind of going on. People are like totally against plastic straws to the point where like a lot of restaurant chains are actually saying that they're not going to use them anymore. Starbucks is the latest one. They say that by 2020 they will no longer use plastic straws.
We didn't have plastic straws originally.
No, they were
had
paper
straws. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly. And now they sell stainless steel straws
That you can reuse.
they can reuse, and they give you a little brush so that you can clean them.
And it's not,
you know,
it's not just about landfill stuff either, because of course that stuff does not decompose.
No, it
It's
never
there
breaks
forever.
down.
It's about animals. It's choking animals. It's killing animals.
I saw a video online of a big turtle, and they were trying to pull out a piece of straw out of his nose, and it was horrible. They kept, because they'd slip, you know, they thought they had a grip on it, so they'd grab it and it would slip, and it felt torturous to me to watch it.
They're finding all kinds of sea creatures that are in their intestines and blocking their airways.
Have you seen footage of the actual plastic in the water? It's gross.
TONNES, tons.
Oh man, it's disgusting.
We gotta take better care, guys.
Yeah.
So why now? But here's my question. So now I've got all these, not a lot, but I have plastic straws.
I do too. I don't know what to do with them now.
Where do we put them? Is there?
Should we cut them up?
So that the animals don't choke on them? I don't know. Okay, now we need to find out what to do with our current plastic straw situation. Anybody out there who's a green person? Kara Flanagan.
Yes, please.
Peter McClarty, Clean North. We need help. What do we do with our plastic straws?
Yeah, that's a really good question, though.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to get an interview. I'm not trying. I'm lining up a segment on Peter McClarty, Clean North, and the city of Sault Ste. Marie about our landfill situation.
Awesome.
So I'll find out. Anyway, we got to take a break and come back.
Yes, we do.
With more. I have an interview coming up with Geri Fowler. I'll tell you about that after this quick break on Mornings with Luann and Tim. Last week, I sat down with Geri Fowler here in our studios. Geri is the grandfather of a very brave 5-year-old named Kayge Fowler. That's spelled K-A-Y-G-E. Beautiful name, beautiful child. There's a Facebook page, Prayers for Kayge. Kayge suffers from DIPG, which is a very rare form of cancer, under 1% as far as numbers, I think, nationally speaking. So anyway, Geri and I sat down to talk about a couple of things about the cancer itself, about what the family's been going through, and about how we as a community can help. There's a GoFundMe page that's set up, and there's also a benefit coming up at the Marconi. So take a look at this interview with Geri Fowler talking about his beautiful grandson, 5-year-old superhero Kayge Fowler. Young fellow, his name is Kayge. He's your grandson.
Yes, indeed. That's
yes.
Right.
Back on around May the 5th, Kayge had an issue that was diagnosed as Bell's palsy. Is that correct?
That's right. On May 6th, he went into emerge because his right-hand side of his face was paralyzed, and he had trouble having trouble with that. So they went in, and the diagnosis, the original diagnosis, initial diagnosis, was Bell's palsy.
Bell's palsy.
And they also complemented that by saying it was not neurological. So then we perceived Bell's palsy to be the case, and that was the case with some steroid treatment.
Oh, okay.
Until more symptoms started.
More symptoms started happening about 19 days later.
Yeah, about the 24th.
At school, playing at school.
That's right. His left leg started to not work quite well, and so the teachers were concerned. Parents picked him up, took him to emerge, took him back to the hospital again. Eventually, on that, I can't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday. Then there was an MRI done, and then the message was, you need to go to Sick Kids immediately. We'll airlift you down there Thursday night. Didn't happen until Friday, and then the diagnosis was on Friday afternoon.
And that diagnosis was what?
It's a cancer called DIPG, and it's the nastiest of the nasty, actually, as far as childhood cancers go. They call it the last incurable childhood cancer, and it's not pretty. It's ugly.
So, I'm going to have a chart right here, actually. I don't know which camera you want me to show this at, but this chart then shows you the different kinds of cancers, and DIPG down here is the one that is so very rare. Do you know how many cases there are?
Sick Kids sees about 5 or 6 cases per year in Canada. In Sick Kids, there's about 30 in Canada per year, and 300 in the States. Okay, so the diagnosis is one thing, and then the prognosis is... Yeah, the prognosis isn't good because the challenge with it is this isn't a typical cancer or tumor that's on something or in something. It's actually where the cancer cells are melding with the brainstem cells, and so it's all one big mess. There's nothing identifiable.
So, not focusing on the terminal aspect of the disease. What you have to do now as a caregiver, and you and your son and your daughter-in-law and the extended family are all now caregivers. The focus is on every day.
That's right. Yeah. The practicality of this stuff is really quite hard. And when we got that diagnosis on the Friday afternoon, it was devastating, of course. But quickly the decision was made to make some rules in Kayge's room, and the rules in Kayge's room are: let's be happy, let's be joyful, let's find some good things to look at. Let's no tears in his room.
Kayge is 5 years old, by the way.
Yeah, it's 5.
So.
And then and also no discussions about tumors and cancer in his room.
In his room, no.
To keep him from being afraid. There's enough things for the poor little guy to be afraid of.
The treatment.
The treatment, some of the treatments, the effects of the treatments, some of the other medications they have to give him are quite awkward.
You and I were talking about, the word you used was nebulous. The cancer itself and the prognosis is all, that's out there somewhere. But what's really present for you and what's really causing so much trauma is what this child is going through.
Yeah, well, the family as a whole, I mean, when you see it firsthand.
The bravery.
Yeah, bravery is a good word for it.
Yeah.
Because the challenge is, it's real. It is what it is, and we have it to deal with. So if we look long term on the whole thing, it's pretty dark and ugly. Mm-hmm. And we can't look long term, because if we focus on long term, then we'll be so focused on the negative that we won't have a chance to see the positive. Mm-hmm. And so we're looking for those little bits of light in the midst of the darkness. We're looking at those. It is day by day, but it's also hour by hour. It's minute by minute. And trying to find some light in the darkness, and trying to find some joy, some happiness, and look for the good things that are happening in all this. Because if we focus on the bad stuff, then you're not going to be able to focus on anything. So we're looking for the good stuff.
What is some of the good stuff?
Well, I think a little smile. I mean, just recently, of course, his smile was only half of his face, and so the medication, the steroids, but also the radiation, are reducing some of those symptoms. So a smile that included most of his mouth was pretty special.
Wow.
Just little things are special. A giggle is special. His attitude towards different things is special. Laughing with his dad and his mum is special. I mean, so the little giggles that we take for granted, we shouldn't take for granted. We don't take them for granted anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. What makes him giggle? Is there something in particular that makes him laugh?
Yeah, his crazy father.
Your son.
Yeah, and his mum. They're great. I have infinite respect and it's not just your. Infinitely proud of my son and Mandy, his mum. Their level of love and care for him are.
And it goes beyond, it's into the community as well, isn't it, Geri?
Oh, it's mind-blowing, actually. Yeah. It's humbling and mind-blowing in the same breath.
Let's take a little break. We're going to come back and we'll talk a little bit about the community involvement, what's going on for Kayge and how we can support Kayge and how we can support the family. I also want to talk a little bit about Kayge's bravery in the face of some of the stuff that he has to go through with these treatments. I think people need to hear about what this young boy is facing. Okay, so stay with us. More with Geri Fowler talking about superhero Kayge right after this brief message. Stay with us. We're back with Geri Fowler talking about your grandson Kayge and his battle with DIPG cancer. Yep. The progression of this cancer is so rapid.
Yes, indeed.
You were talking about him running one day and then 5 days later they're making plans for a wheelchair. Is that?
Yeah, he was running on the Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I think it was the following Tuesday, 7 days maybe, they were having to measure him for a wheelchair.
Incredible. And so, how do you get through it? And as you say, it's just a matter of you just keep going day by day, minute by minute.
There isn't any alternative, of course. I mean, we have a very strong faith component to this, and so we believe,
Bethel Bible Chapel, is that?
Well, Bethel, but also lots of other people. We go to Bethel, but we believe in a God with unlimited power, unlimited grace, unlimited mercy, unlimited love, and so we're praying for a miracle. I mean, and others are joining us in praying for that miracle, and we're hoping to see that.
And you're asking anybody in the audience that believes in the has faith in the
Yeah.
power of prayer.
Yeah.
Kayge.
The support has been unbelievable, but and the financial support, which we'll get to,
Yes.
probably is how valuable that is. But the thing we value probably the most is the prayer, because that's where it's going to give us some answers.
Now, let's talk a bit about what Kayge faces as far as this treatment goes. You were talking about the radiation. It's horrifying.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, so we got the definition of the prognosis, the diagnosis, and the prognosis on the Friday afternoon. Straight after that, almost, they had to go in and get him measured for his radiation mask.
His radiation mask.
So it's a sort of a plastic mesh, and they warm it up and then have to mold it over his face so that it fits precisely. And then on the Saturday we started radiation, and it's a scary thing for all of us, but especially for a 5-year-old. And so we had to take him into the room, and they have to sort of. In the meantime, he's scared. So he's saying, "Daddy, just." He could speak better than he has been recently. His speech has deteriorated. So he says, "Daddy, don't leave me," but you have to leave him in this room.
He can't be in the room with the radiation.
That's right. So this mask gets made. It's made the shape of his face, and then they have to sort of strap him down to this bed, and then they have to clip this mask on. So the mask goes on, it has to fit in very precisely. They click it down to the bed. And then in the midst of him crying, saying, "Daddy, don't leave me, Mommy, don't leave me," they have to leave him for about 5 to 10 minutes.
Because he has to remain completely motionless, and this is why the mask holds his face in place, and his body is strapped down, because the radiation has to get to exactly where the DIPG cancer is, which is in the
brainstem.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the daily. That's happened every day every weekday for the last 30 days. His last treatment's on Friday.
So. Now, let's look toward how we can help.
Well, I mean, the Sioux community, I moved to the Sioux quite a few years ago, but I've always been impressed with the Sioux, but I'm blown away by the Sioux support. I mean, the people from the Sault Ste. Marie are just doing things that are above and beyond our expectations, and we're just gobsmacked, is the English term, sorry.
That's all right, we get it. Your son was in the middle of renovating his house when all of this came down, right?
Major renovation.
And as anybody can imagine, Kayge's parents have to be with him 24/7.
Yeah.
So your son and your daughter-in-law have had to leave careers. Do they have other children? They have 4?
They have 4 other children.
4 other children, including twins, is that right?
Twins, that's right.
Who's caring for the family?
Mandy's parents, so the T-Birds side of things, are doing an awesome job looking after the kids, and taking them down to Toronto so they can see Kayge and their mum and dad and stuff when they're down there. So they're doing that side.
But there's no income right now for the family, and then the house is was not fit for Kayge to come home to.
So we're doing that side of things. The Fowler side is doing that part, and
the Fowler show. You have a wonderful bracelet here that someone's made for you. Super Kayge, he's the superhero, because Kayge loves superheroes, and he is one, as a matter of fact. And then on the other side it's Fowler Power, which I think is great, because your last name is Fowler. So Fowler Power.
But again, the T-Birds part of things are incredibly important here.
Yes.
Too. So we've been doing the renovation side of things, and we've had a huge amounts of help with most generous people giving. One gentleman took a whole week's holiday, and then it's been down there 2 or 3 other days apart from that, just to help on the house. People coming down.
Tradespeople.
No, this is
just people who are volunteering to come in and do the work.
People coming in after working a full 8 hours, get at 6:30, coming in at 4:30 and painting till 9:30 to get painting done. On their birthday, was one lady recently. So there's all sorts of people. People coming up the driveway, walking up, shaking my hand, giving me $50 and say, "This is for materials." I don't know who they are. I don't know where they've come from. I don't know how they found out about it. But it's just all over. Schools that aren't Kayge's school. We went to Kayge's graduation. He came up for the
his kindergarten graduation.
He came up for the kindergarten graduation.
He came home for that?
Which was really cool. And the school was St. Basil's, was just amazing what they did. But other schools have given money. Montessori school gave money. I mean, it's actually, as I say, very humbling, amazing, and it's really hard to quantify our thanks for all that you guys have done.
That's okay, but listen, now there's more that we can do, because there's a GoFundMe page, so you can find that. Is there a name for the GoFundMe page?
The Facebook page is under Prayer for Kayge. Prayer for Kayge.
Prayer for Kayge, and that Facebook page will lead you to everything else you need to know, including the fundraising. There's a party. There's a big
fundraising thing on Thursday on the 12th.
12th of July.
At the Marconi.
At the Marconi Hall.
And,
The Marconi Cultural Club. It's Rosetta's place. It's going to turn back to an Italian cultural club.
That's good. That's great.
We love Rosetta.
Indeed.
She's going to be your hostess?
I don't know that part.
Oh, okay.
The other thing, this has been organized by people I don't really know.
People have just taken the helm on
so
this?
they've taken the reins and running it, so I don't know a lot about it, actually.
And so if you go to the Facebook page, Prayers for Kayge, Prayer for Kayge, you're going to get this information for the GoFundMe and for the July 12th fundraiser at the Marconi. If tickets do sell out, as far as attendance, it's getting pretty busy.
Yeah, it's close.
But the good news is, even if you can't go, you can still buy a ticket. I mean, even that just shows that support. So you may not be able to participate, but you're there in spirit and in financial support.
We need help for them with regards to them sustaining them for this journey that they're on. Although it's a dark journey, the support that we get from the people who are putting some light on that pathway that they have to travel. But then the next phase of things is looking at other
treatments.
Other treatments.
Now, the alternative treatments are expensive.
Yes, and they're out of Canada. They're outside Canada.
Outside of Canada. But let's just put this to the audience. If this were your child, would you not do anything you could to save your child, to make your child more comfortable, to give you more time with your child? I think you would. So if you want to make that happen for Kayge and his family, then please, Prayers for Kayge on Facebook, and as Geri has asked for, real Prayers for Kayge.
Yeah, indeed, that's the best. That's the big thing.
Well, thanks, Grandpa, for being here to show your love and support. Papa, he calls you?
Okay.
Geri.
Thank you very much.
And
thanks
please give your best to the family.
I will for sure.
And thanks for joining us. I know
Okay.
this couldn't have been
My
easy,
pleasure.
so you're a brave man too, Geri Fowler.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We'll be back with more Mornings with Luann and Tim after this. Stay tuned. And just like that, another morning is...
Another show done.
Another show done. Another one bites the dust.
Another Monday.
Doesn't feel like a Monday, though.
It doesn't, does it?
No, I feel good. I feel alive.
Awesome.
I feel alert.
It's because you had lots of rest.
I did. I had
Right.
a great rest this weekend.
And you have like stuff away from here. It's good to do that.
I have a life.
You do?
So do you.
I do so.
Want to go live it?
Yeah, let's go live it. You go live yours, we'll go live ours.
We'll go live ours, and we'll be back here tomorrow morning. And I'm going to go check out some polls tomorrow and see what happens later on this week. So
Wait for that. You do not want to miss this.
So
Thank
we'll
you
see
so
you-
much, sir.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Luann.
Morning.
See you too. Thanks for being with us this morning. Have a great day.
Have a good one.